You ever meet someone who made your skin crawl, but you couldn't explain why? Not because they looked weird or acted crazy, just something in your gut told you, this person ain't right. This story happened to me and my brother last summer, in a place called Devil's Hollow. Scene 1. The trip begins. We were 2 hours from any real town, winding through pine-covered mountains in Colorado. It was just me, my older brother Dave, and our dog Riley. No cell service, no GPS. Just an old forest map, a Jeep, and enough beef jerky to survive a zombie apocalypse. Dave had found this place online, Devil's Hollow. It used to be a mining town, but after a cave-in killed over 50 workers back in 1904, the place was abandoned. Locals say it's cursed. But Dave eats that kind of stuff up. By the time we reached the trailhead, it was already dusk. The trees were tall, packed tight, and the shadows were long. We hiked in about a mile and found a small clearing next to a narrow creek. Beautiful. Quiet, isolated. Too isolated. Scene 2. The Stranger. We'd just finished setting up the tent when we saw him, across the creek, about 50 yards away. A man, sitting perfectly still in a folding chair, just staring into the woods. No tent, no fire, no gear. Just him, wearing a white t-shirt, khaki shorts, and a wide-brimmed hat. Looked like he belonged at a barbecue, not deep in the mountains. Dave waved. "Evening?" No reply. He didn't move. "Maybe he's listening to nature," I said, half joking. But even Riley, our dog, wasn't having it. His fur stood up and he growled low, something he almost never did. That night, we tried to ignore the man, but when we peeked out before bed, he was still there, still sitting, still staring. Scene 3. Strange night. Around 2 a.m., I woke up. No reason, just this weird feeling like the silence was too thick. I poked my head out of the tent. The man was gone, but his chair, still there. Then I heard something in the woods. Not an animal. Too steady, too rhythmic. Footsteps, circling us. I grabbed Dave. "Wake up! Someone's out there!" We stood outside the tent, flashlights sweeping the dark. Riley growled in the direction of the creek. The chair was still there, but something was behind it. I pointed my light. A pair of boots. Then knees. Then nothing. No head. No torso. Just legs standing there in the dark. And then, gone. Like someone ducked behind the chair. We ran toward it. Nothing. Nobody. But we found something else. Deep boot prints. In a perfect circle around our tent. Scene 4. The Old Woman. The next morning, we hiked to the ranger station about 3 miles down. Told the woman at the front desk everything. She was this old native lady, stern face, dead serious. "Where'd you say you saw him?" she asked. "Devil's Hollow, near the creek." She nodded slowly. "That's where the foreman's cabin used to be. Burned down after the collapse." I blinked. "The mine collapse?" She nodded again. "Foreman lived, but folks said he lost his mind. Just sat in a chair day and night watching the woods. After he died, hikers started seeing him again. In the same chair, same spot." Dave chuckled nervously. "So You're saying we saw a ghost? The woman didn't laugh. I'm saying if you see that chair again, don't talk to him, and don't ever sit in it. We left that day. Scene 5, The Return. 1 year later. I never wanted to go back, but Dave? He couldn't stop thinking about it. Said he had to know if it was real. So a year later, we returned. Same trailhead, same creek, same clearing, same chair. Empty. Riley wouldn't even get out of the Jeep. Smart dog. That night, Dave set up his camera to record. Said he wanted evidence. Around midnight, he sat in the chair. I begged him not to. I just want to feel if something's weird, he said. 5 minutes. 4 minutes in, his nose started bleeding. Then his ears. Then he collapsed. I dragged him out of that chair so fast I tore a tendon in my shoulder. Dave was out cold for 3 hours. When he woke up, he couldn't remember his name or mine. Scene 6, Epilogue. The tape. We got home, burned the footage, but I couldn't help watching it once. At exactly 2:33 a.m., something passed across the frame. A tall figure. No face, no eyes. Just a mouth. Grinning ear to ear. And behind it, dozens more, like shadows peeling off the trees. Since then, Dave's not the same. He talks in his sleep, says things in languages he's never heard, draws that damn chair in every notebook. Last week, I caught him trying to walk back into the woods behind our house, barefoot, in the rain, whispering, I see them now. They're always watching. Some places aren't haunted by ghosts. They're haunted by memory, by obsession, by something older than death itself. And sometimes that place finds a way to come back with you. Would you sit in the chair? You ever feel like a house is watching you? Like the peeling walls have eyes, and the silence inside isn't really silent. Well, this story, it isn't about haunted houses. It's about a house that haunted me. Scene 1, The Craigslist Trap. I was 26, fresh out of a breakup, looking for a place far from the city noise. Craigslist had this listing. Country cottage for rent, secluded, $400 a month, no pets. Too good to be true? Yeah, it was. But the pictures, man, it looked like something out of a Nicholas Sparks movie. White picket fence, wind chimes, a rocking chair on the porch. I sent a message. The guy replied instantly. No name, no background check, just one line. If you feel drawn to it, it's yours. I should have backed out right there. Scene 2, First Night Whispers. The drive out was 4 hours, no signal, no neighbors, just cornfields, old barns, and a single dirt road that led to the cottage. But the place looked exactly like the photos. Cozy, untouched, like it had been waiting. I moved in that night, set my mattress on the floor. Around 2 a.m., I heard it, a whisper from the walls. Not in English, not a voice I could place. It was like a breath with shape. I told myself it was the wind. Next night, same thing. Third night, the whisper said my name. Scene 3, The Locked Room. There was a door upstairs, nailed shut from the outside. I ignored it the first week, but one night the door started knocking, soft like a child. Then it would stop, then whisper again. I left the house that night and slept in my car. The next morning, door looked untouched. I messaged the Craigslist guy again, no response. That night, the door was open. Inside was a bedroom. Children's toys scattered, a baby crib, but everything covered in dust and blood. Dried, dark blood, smeared like finger painting on the walls, and on the crib, written in red, "She's still here." Scene 4, the journal. In a drawer, I found a journal. Belonged to someone named Elena, a mother. Each entry was more desperate than the last. Baby crying again at 2:13 a.m. She won't sleep unless I let her out. She knows I tried to leave. She knows I didn't want her. Last entry, "Don't come upstairs. Don't listen to her voice. She'll wear your skin." I dropped the journal. From the corner of the room, I heard a baby giggle. Scene 5, the thing in the crib. I grabbed my flashlight and looked in the crib. There was something inside. It was moving, wrapped in a blanket, small hands poking out, but they weren't baby hands. They were long, sharp, gray, like fingers that had forgotten what skin should be. The blanket shifted, 2 black eyes.
Scene 6, trapped. I ran downstairs. Door was locked. Not just locked, sealed. Windows wouldn't break, phone dead. House humming now like it was alive, and every 13 minutes on the dot, I'd hear footsteps from the second floor. Then a child's voice. "You'll be a better mommy." Scene 7, the real history. 2 days later, I finally got out. I don't even remember how. I woke up on the porch, car keys in my pocket, crib empty, journal gone. I drove straight to the nearest town. A librarian there, must have been 80, told me the story. House used to belong to a woman named Elena Crandall. Her baby was born deformed. Locals said the child had no soul. Elena tried to smother it, but instead, it took her. They never found the baby. But every few years, someone tries to live in that house. None of them last more than 7 nights. Final scene, back again. That was 3 years ago. I moved to California, new job, new life. But sometimes, I still hear her. The whisper, the laugh. Last week, I found a new listing on Craigslist. Different name, different photos, but same description. If you feel drawn to it, it's yours. And guess what? I clicked. I messaged. And this morning, I woke up to a baby's giggle at 2:13 a.m. She always finds a way back, especially when you click.
Some apartments come with amenities, a gym, a pool, maybe even a view of the city. But in this case, it came with something else. This is the story of what happened to Emma when she moved into apartment 3B, a place with a door that was never supposed to open.
Emma was a 27-year-old freelance graphic designer who just landed a dream deal, a spacious, affordable 1-bedroom in a quiet Brooklyn building. The place was old, brown bricks, creaky wooden floors, and a faint smell of dust and lavender that never really went away. Her apartment, 3B, sat between 3A and a sealed door. No number, no doorknob, just a door painted the same dull gray as the wall. On move-in day, she asked the super about it. "Oh, that? Just storage. Nothing to worry about," he said quickly. Too quickly. Emma shrugged. New York had weirder things. By the second week, Emma started hearing things. At exactly 3:17 a.m. every night, she'd jolt awake. Sometimes it was knocking. 3 soft knocks, like fingernails on hollow wood. Other times it was a dragging sound, as if something heavy was being pulled across the floor, right behind that sealed door. She asked her neighbor in 3A, a sweet old woman named Mrs. Holloway. "Oh dear," she whispered. That door's been shut for 25 years, ever since the girl disappeared. Emma froze. Girl? Mrs. Holloway nodded slowly. Tenant before you. Lived in 3B, too. Vanished one night. Never found. And before her, a man. Same thing. Emma laughed it off. Coincidences. Big cities have big stories. Then, one night, the door wasn't sealed anymore. Emma came home after a late meeting to find the gray door cracked open, just a sliver. No one else was on the floor. No light came from inside, just darkness. She touched it. Cold, colder than the rest of the hallway. She pushed it slightly. It creaked open, revealing a staircase going down. Impossible. The building only had 3 floors. She backed away, locked her apartment. That night, the dragging sound came back, louder. This time, it stopped right outside her bedroom door. Emma couldn't sleep.
She bought a baby monitor with a night cam, pointed it at the door. That night, she watched from her phone as the gray door opened by itself. A figure, tall, thin, faceless, stepped into the hole and stopped outside her door. No face, no eyes, just a blank head that tilted, listening. Then, it walked back into the blackness of the secret stairwell. Emma snapped. She needed answers. Next evening, armed with her phone, a flashlight, and a knife, she opened the gray door and stepped down the stairs. Each step groaned under her weight. The air grew thick. Dust turned to mold, mold to rot. She reached the bottom, a hallway, concrete, lit only by one flickering bulb. And on the walls, photos of her, sleeping, eating, laughing on FaceTime, dozens of them, some from angles inside her bedroom. She screamed, turned. Standing behind her was the faceless thing. She ran, tripped, fell. The hallway looped, no end. She screamed until her voice cracked, then silence. She woke up in her apartment. Everything looked normal. Door sealed again. Was it a dream? No. Her baby monitor footage was still on her phone. She sent it to the police. They investigated. Found the hidden staircase. But no hallway, no photos, no creature. Just an old iron chair bolted to the floor, with scratch marks on the walls around it. They didn't believe her, said she imagined it. Emma moved out. Last she heard, a young couple moved into 3B. They didn't last long. 2 weeks later, they were found outside the building. Faces pale, eyes open, mouths frozen in silent screams. No signs of struggle. No explanation. The gray door was sealed again. But if you ever rent apartment 3B in Brooklyn, check the hallway. And if you hear knocking at 3:17 a.m., don't open the door. Some doors are sealed for a reason, not to keep you out, but to keep something in.